So who can musicians trust nowadays? There's so many different music business educators and gurus out there on the internet giving their advice, and it can feel a little overwhelming at times, right? You're sitting there and you're like, okay, this person's got good advice, but is this, are they trustworthy? Is this the right path for me? Oh, this person's got great advice. Are they trustworthy? Is this the right path I should go? And we're doing this over and over and over again, and we're getting stuck in our music business. So here's the truth of the matter. I've looked at all of the music business educators that are out there online right now. It's part of my job is to stay on top of who's new in the business, who's been around for a minute. And I can tell you, having talked to 90% of these people, they're actually pretty cool. I know it would have been easier for you if this video was me just saying how all the music business gurus don't know what they're talking about and that's why you're stuck. But that's not the truth. And on this channel, I'm here to give you the truth, okay? So the truth of the matter is, most of the time, the issue is not the advice or the person giving it. It's the way it's applied. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 errors that most musicians make when analyzing and applying the advice that they're given by music business gurus. Now, the first thing that we need to dive into, that's a huge issue, and let me make a little disclaimer, okay? Some of y'all may have clicked on this video because you saw the thumbnail featured maybe one of your favorite music business gurus and you're wondering if I'm going to call them a charlatan. Most likely not. If I put them on the thumbnail, they're actually pretty good music business educators. But there are other people out there. There was a gentleman named Clint. Oh gosh, his last name is escaping me right now. But he showed up to the space, took a bunch of money from artists, and then left into the night. And was gone for like a year, 2 years. And then tried to like make his way back as if nothing happened, even though he had been called out by Adam Ivy and a bunch of other music business educators for basically giving out fluff advice, taking musicians' money, and then it was like a fly-by-night operation. They were gone the next morning and no one had their money, no one had advice and career advancement, they just had a hole in their pocket. And so there are musicians out there who have fallen prey, unfortunately, to gurus who have no proven track record of helping artists. So that's one of the first things that we need to look out for when we're looking at these different music business gurus. And most of the ones that I've mentioned or that you've seen on my thumbnail, Jesse Cannon, Matt Bacon, Greg Savage, Damian Keys, Michael Walker, all these guys have great testimonials of helping out artists. Same with me. I make sure to share my testimonials because I want the people that come and interact with me to know that I've actually worked one-on-one with artists and helped them get results, and here's the results I've gotten them. But if you happen to go to a music business guru's website and you can't find a single testimonial, you can't find a single case study, you can't find any evidence that they've ever been in the music business themselves, whether as an artist, a manager, or any other capacity, it's probably time to run. Okay? So a lot of times these creators will rely on theory that's not actually tested. See, here on this channel and a lot of other music business channels, we actually test. For me, I have my own band, so I go out with my band, I test to see what works with us, and then if it works for us, I bring it to my clients, we test it with the clients to help them get results, right? But the last thing I'm gonna do, and a lot of these other music business educators are gonna do, is sit there and say, yeah, this is gonna work, this is gonna work, this is gonna work, and have no testing behind it, right? A lot of the people that you're talking to, or I'm sorry, not talking to, but watching their videos, hopefully have done a lot of testing. I know Matt Bacon, Jesse Cannon, myself, Andrew Southworth, I know a lot of us, we've ran tests. We've had enough clients come through that we've got data that we can look at and say, this works, this doesn't. But if you're coming upon a new music business guru and they have no testimonials, no proven track record, nothing, it might be time to run away and ignore that advice, right? At least maybe they're just in the beginning phases of their coaching career. Maybe you can come back in a little bit after they've gotten some results for other artists, but you don't necessarily want to be the guinea pig. I'm just saying that. You don't want to be the guinea pig unless they're going to do it for free, okay? Now, the second issue, okay, we've got over the fact that, yes, there are some scammy, scummy people out there that we can avoid, but we can mostly avoid them if we check for testimonials, check for case studies, and check that they have some modicum of a track record of being in the music industry, right? They're not just some completely unknown person that you can't research, okay? Because I know a lot of people don't know who I am, and that's totally fine, but you can do research. You can go find my testimonials. You can go find my band and its results. So I'm perfectly confident speaking on these things. But some people, you can't find anything about them. So you need to be careful with them. The second issue is that we will take great advice, but only apply it to achieve vanity outcomes. So what do I mean by that? So a lot of times people will get good advice. Like, for example, hey, a really good piece of advice is to run meta ads for your newest release. Some people take that advice and instead of figuring out how to execute it in a way that actually benefits their business outcomes, they'll take that advice and say, great, I need to advertise on Meta, which means Instagram and Facebook. Let me just boost my posts and get a whole bunch of views on this video that's promoting my song. Here's the problem. It involves the T word that I've already said today, testing, okay? If you put out a piece of content and it gets 20 views, and you put out another piece of content and it gets 20 views, and you put out another piece of content and it gets 300 views, which of the 3 posts should you boost? If you didn't say the 300 one, you are incorrect, okay? Because what a lot of artists do is they have this vanity, ego-driven thing in their head that says, well, I can't have my profile have all these videos with low view counts, so let me promote them so it looks like the view count is higher than it actually is. So that way when people come to my profile, I don't look like a loser. These are the thoughts that artists and musicians have, but those are based more in fear and emotion of ourselves than the actual reality and thoughts of our fans, okay? So the problem with this becomes we start trying to boost our vanity metrics, like our views for one example, not because that's actually indicative of something good that's happening in our business, but it satisfies our ego that, oh, I put out a piece of content and it completely bombed because I boosted it. Now it's got 1,000 views, even though when I originally posted it, it only got 10 views. Now, why boost the post that has the most views? Because it has now a proven track record of getting more attention than your previous pieces of content. So something clearly worked there. So what you want to do is push the winners, not push the losers. If you put out a piece of content and it doesn't do very well, that is the market and the algorithm telling you this content was not as good as you thought it was. And sometimes it's hard for us to accept that. We're like, man, I put a lot of effort into this content. But the reality is if it didn't get a whole bunch of views, there was most likely something wrong with our thumbnail or title. There was something wrong with the way that we presented our content. So maybe we got a lot of views, but no one's watching the video. There's issues there, right? But if we can look at how do I use meta ads to drive people, let's say, to Spotify? There's ways of doing this where you can get pixel data and all kinds of nerdy stuff I'm not going to go into today. But you could actually get positive business benefits from driving people to Spotify. Why? Because if you do it right, you can get people to increase your streams per listener, you can increase your playlist ads and saves, and then this will help the algorithm of Spotify recognize your music as something that needs to be disseminated to other accounts. And so you'll start getting your music picked up in algorithmic playlists like radio or mixes or release radar when you got something new coming out. So what we want to do is focus on how do I get people, instead of using meta ads in this one example that we're using, how do I get people to a business metric that actually matters, right? Some people say, Dex, you need to build an email list. And I'm one of those people that says, hey, you need to build an email list. But then a lot of people go out there and they'll spend money on these Facebook ads and get really, really low quality leads to get into their email list just for the sake of saying, I've got people into my email list. I've had clients in the past before who did this. And let me just give you the difference in the numbers. This is, I've actually done this with clients and can give you the actual numbers. I have one client who had 13.400 email list subscribers. His open rate during our campaigns was averaged around 35%, which is really good, right? We have a client who had built their email list not through like getting people who actually support you through crowdfunding or any other kind of campaign that actually gets people in the list who are interested in supporting you. No. He just did cheap Facebook ads because it gave him instant gratification. They flowed into his list like crazy. He's got like 2,100 people in his list. And then when he sends out an email, it gets a 0.08% open rate. You heard me right, 0.08. Not 0.8, 0.08. What was the issue? Same strategies, same type of subject lines that we were utilizing. Why wasn't it working for this person? Because they had filled their list full of people that didn't actually care. You don't just want to fill up your email list for the sake of filling up your email list. You need to do something to sift and sort that list so that they are going to become the type of people who will open your emails and buy your products and services. That's point blank what you need to do with your email list. However, People will hear the strategy, you need a big email list, and then they'll find the shortcut that really it's a vanity thing. Look how many subscribers I've got. Look at my subscriber count. It's going up like crazy. But then the question comes is like, okay, where are we getting these? Are these really high quality, or are you just, fishing from the bottom of the barrel here? And you find out a lot of times they've been fishing from the bottom of the barrel. And that's a true analogy with many different strategies. I used meta ads and email lists, for example, but we could keep going on and on and on, where artists will take something that is a good strategy given by a music business guru like Andrew Southworth or Jesse Cannon or myself that's actually worked for people, and they'll apply it to get an outcome from which it was not designed to get. Okay? Or at least it'll get the outcome, but they'll try to usurp some of the things that are a little bit harder. It takes longer to build a list full of really qualified fans or clients than it does to just fill it full of junk. But what's the outcome if we fill it full of junk? We send out our emails, nothing happens really. But if you actually do the right stuff, you take it slow and you implement exactly how myself and others have recommended, you actually get people who care about you into the email list. So when you send them an email, they're excited to open it. As opposed to, oh look, another artist trying to sell me something, let me just delete that or swipe it away. So that's the second issue, is that we'll get good strategies. First and foremost, we've identified these people don't know what they're talking about. These people do know what they're talking about. Then we listen to the people who do know what they're talking about, and instead of applying the advice to actually get business-related outcomes, we lean towards vanity outcomes. And by the way, I'm putting myself in this category. When I was a young artist and starting to do this, I invested in vanity metrics. It took me a while, especially back in the day when Facebook was putting a bunch of bots into their promote feature, where you would say, promote this, or get more followers, and just bots from India and the Philippines would start following and liking you. It took me about 1.5 years to clean out all of these fake followers. It was very tedious and it was a pain in the butt. But I would have avoided that if I didn't try to shortcut the game, right? If I didn't try to shortcut the process, I would have gotten the genuine followers faster and wouldn't have had to lose half my followers in the early days. It was like we got to 2,000 and we had to go way back down to 1,000 just to get rid of all these bots. So don't take the shortcut. Take the proven route that has been given by myself and others out there that have gotten this result for other musicians. And then this is the final thing I want to discuss today, because this is really a lot of where I've seen issues come up. It's the wrong application of the right ideas. So for example, one of the better sync licensing trainers that are out there is a DIY musician, Greg Savage, Anthony Clint Jr., Joshua Williams. They have some great sync licensing trainings available for you. However, if I have no desire or no real passion to become a sync artist, me signing up for their program, getting all their advice, kind of adopting their worldview, so to speak, is not going to be very helpful for me. Why? Because that's not the main game I'm playing right now. So the step one in this is you got to know what game you're playing. Are you playing the independent original artist game? Are you playing the cover band or tribute band game? Are you playing the wedding band or DJ at the public event kind of game? Are you playing the I'm going to teach musicians how to play their instrument game? Are you playing there's so many different areas and avenues of success. Are you doing the Spotify thing? Are you doing the crowdfunding thing? Are you doing the email thing? There are different creators who serve tons of value in each of these domains. Jess Eva Allen is who you want to go to if you ever want to learn about crowdfunding. Andrew Southworth is who you want to go to if you want to learn about Spotify. If you want to learn about ads and marketing, I like to think myself or maybe Matt Bacon are some great options, right? There's tons of different creators that have value in the game that they're pursuing, right? For me, I'm the direct response guy. I'm the guy that you come to figure out how to get the fans to respond to the content, open the emails, and buy the things. That's what people come to me for. But if you're trying to grow your Spotify, you're trying to grow some other things, there's other creators that are great fits for that. But the trick to this is you have to take things one at a time. Okay, you have to go one at a time, or else you're going to overload yourself with responsibilities and obligations that you need to do. Because think about it like this. If I decide I'm going to open the sync can of worms, there's no casually opening that. If you're going to commit to do that, you have to create a bunch of material that fits with what music libraries are looking for. You have to find some good music libraries that'll actually get your stuff pitched to the right music directors and all this kind of stuff for the shows, televisions, games that you're looking for. There's a whole set of mindsets and approaches and daily activities and routines of being a sync artist. These are totally different than, let's say, my clients who are trying to build their email list and get their fans to buy. That is a totally different game. So if you're trying to do both things at the same time, I'm learning from him about this, but I'm learning from him about this, you're most likely going to become double-minded and scatterbrained. Because while you could be going all in on one thing to actually get some results, you're spreading yourself too thin. There's an old saying from Sun Tzu, or actually it's Lao Tzu, he who chases two rabbits catches none, right? So I didn't start building a music business education company while I was in my band. I had already been in my band for like 7 or 8 years building the foundations. I did that first, and then I started building this, right? So I took things one at a time. When I started to do the individual aspects of it, I built my email list first, got that perfected, then I started growing my Spotify next. And then after I got that perfected, I started trying to grow my social media. And there's individual tasks that you need to focus on. And I'm just going to be honest, totally transparent. I'm not the only one who teaches. There's great teachers in all of these different domains. But it will never make a difference if we do not apply the advice in the game that we are playing. So to recap this quick video, number one, don't work with or take advice from music business educators who have no proven track record, right? They've got no testimonials, no case studies, none of that stuff. I would take that advice from those type of people with a huge grain of salt. However, if you look at people like me, Matt Bacon, Anthony Clitt Jr., Adam Ivy, Damian Keys, we've got tons of testimonials. We've got tons of case studies, right? We've clearly worked with people. So that's what you should be looking out for. Theories that are tested, not just purely theory. Number two, we got to figure out how do we apply this good advice so that it's not just giving us vanity outcomes, views, likes, followers, but it's actually going a step further than that. We're getting monthly Spotify listeners, email list subscribers, fan club subscribers, merchandise purchasers. We're getting the business metrics that matter, okay? And then number three, applying it in the game for which we are playing, okay? Yes, there are times that my direct response marketing strategies are going to work for the independent artist, the music educator, the producer, the cover band, or whatever. But if you're a sync license artist, my advice is not really going to be the thing that's going to serve you at the highest level. I would recommend to go to Greg Savage, go to Anthony Clint Jr., or Joshua Williams. Go to those guys. They've got great sync licensing value and trainings that you can get, and even their courses are fantastic. I actually bought Anthony Clint Jr.'s course not too long ago, well, a couple years ago, and great stuff, right? So you have to get the right advice applied in the right game, or else, if you're a cover band and you're trying to figure out sync licensing, that's a waste of your time. However, if you're a sync artist and you're trying to learn about how to set up a direct response email list for one thing at a time, get your sync licensing, not vocabulary, but catalog built up so that you're getting a decent amount of income from your sync licenses. Then once that foundation is built, it's like, okay, I've got this taken care of. Now I can tackle the email list. Now I can tackle the Spotify. Now I can tackle the next thing. Once something is finished first, right? Chase that first rabbit, catch that first rabbit, cook it and eat it, then go to the next rabbit. All the animal people just went, oh my God, he said eat the rabbit. I did that for you guys, just for fun. Well, I hope you guys got a ton of value from this video, and now you can take this information and have clear eyes when you look at YouTube as to who is a genuine educator that you should be following and you should be getting your advice from versus maybe someone who isn't, or even if you find the right person, how to apply what they give you so that it serves you at the highest level, as opposed to it just adding to a pile of things that you have to do that causes confusion, okay? So if you got a lot of value from this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll just say this, if you'd like some one-on-one help implementing more direct response strategies inside of your music business to get fans to open the emails, to buy your products, and to actually want to support you and build that affinity, click the link in the description to apply for a one-on-one coaching call. It's for free, but it's just a way to see if it's a good fit for us to work together in the future. So if that's something you're interested in, click the link in the description, and also make sure to go follow as many music business educators as you can. I am not going to be that person that says you should only follow me because I have all the answers. The answers are to be found with me but they're to be found with Andrew Southworth, they're to be found with Jesse Cannon, they're to be found with all these music business educators that have different solutions for your different problems, right? So I help solve your specific problems, but there's another music business educator that will help solve your specific problems as well. So make sure to go out there, consume great information, and make sure not to just keep it as information, but take it from information to implementation. Click the link in the description, and I look forward to seeing you guys on another video inside of Musicians Ignite. Take care.